Last night during a stream, I was made painfully aware of the fact that a lot of people don't remember Genghis Swan. Like in the music industry with people who forgot about Dre, people forgot about Genghis Swan in the literature world. The man responsible for revolutionizing the written word. Me. I hope you're sitting down because if you're standing up, you're about to be knocked off your fucking feet with this huge reveal here. I am Genghis Swan. Genghis Swan was the pseudonym I operated under. Much like J.K. Rowling isn't her real name, I simply did all of my writing as Genghis Swan, but it was truly Charles behind the pen, writing those incredible timeless pieces of fiction that have been studied in English courses across the last 6 years in universities. I'm honestly offended not many people remember this, but in 2014 I had the wet dream of becoming the world's most famous adult erotica fanfiction novelist and poet. I wanted to hyper-focus and really just dial in like a fine laser targeting middle-aged women that were just now starting to rediscover sex again after 50 Shades of Grey. Because before 50 Shades of Grey, once women hit like 40 years old, it's like their vagina got sealed shut. But 50 Shades of Grey freed them. And it was a huge, huge deal in 2014. 50 Shades of Grey was absolutely fucking massive. It was up there with the Bible. And I was like, well, it's terribly written. It honestly reads like it's written by a middle schooler that just learned a bunch of dirty words. I could definitely write something on par or better than 50 Shades of Grey. So that was the idea. The plan was to build up a following online at poetry websites as well as short story websites as Genghis Swan. So that way when I did branch out and make the 50 Shades of Grey competitor, I'd already have a loyal following of sexually deprived, middle-aged women that were desperate to digest more steamy, spicy garbage from Genghis Swan. They'd already appreciate the writing styles of the legendary Mr. Swan, and I'd already have an audience for it. So that was the idea, and I knew it would take multiple years to build this up, but I really wasn't ready to commit multiple years of writing garbage, so I only wrote for like three or 4 months. And unfortunately, a lot of that's just been lost to time, which is a real fucking shame. That's like a universal crime right there to not have some of those Genghis Swan earlier works. That if you could find some of the earlier shit that I wasn't able to find, that'd be like finding the Superman issue #1. That's a historically significant artifact. Some of Genghis Swan's earlier works have to be up there with some of the lost documents from the Library of Alexandria. But even still, there are a few survivors that I was able to find during the stream last night, so I'll go through a couple of those with you. I also wrote this pretty recently, 3 years ago, The Man Who Forgot How to Poop. And this is like the ultimate shit post. This isn't exactly adult erotica or anything. It's a children's book that teaches you the importance of taking a shit. It's about a superhero who dies because he forgot how to take a shit. And it's illustrated by an extremely talented artist named Chris Metzner, and this is probably some of the best literature that's ever been made out there. I made a video reading the whole thing, but I didn't share any of the last 6 pages. I was keeping that a mystery, but I'll go ahead and share with you some of the forbidden text from the back here. Here's just an entire Wikipedia article about how shitting works, and then this is just a sentence about a sushi roll. This sushi roll has a dark and mysterious past. So it was quality, still is quality. Not exactly in line with the Genghis Swan mission of making every middle-aged woman salivate at the thought of more Genghis Swan writing, but definitely something that I had a lot of fun making as Genghis Swan. So let's go over some of the erotic poems that I read on stream last night, and just, once again, remember the important role Genghis Swan has played in the evolution of writing. So I wrote 4 poems. They only have 4 of my poems here? Yeah, they only kept like my lowest effort ones. For example, this one's called Love Poem. Her lips, those lips, your lips, so full of desire and lust, yet so lonely, they need my company. Why would it save that one? Your vagina, so radiant and beautiful, full of lust and desire, wanting some company, you invite me inside. I come in. Your vagina sweats, like ice cream melting under a summer sun. I'm leaving that one a like from future Charlie to Genghis Swan. That's pretty good. Yeah, so this one I actually remember writing. An ethereal goddess lays down upon this silk. I put my mouth on those titties to get a drink of her milk. She loves it, moans, and lets out a shout. I move to her ass cheeks and see some shit poking out. My lips attach to her shit-crusted anus. This type of move could make a porn actor famous. With my mouth on her rectum and tongue in the crevice, she hits me with a fart, but I don't regret this. Minutes fly by as I chew on the hole. She shit herself twice, but I've shoveled that coal. She lifts up my head with her hand under my chin. I no longer see ass, I see her sweet face again. As I approach her big luscious lips, I get excited and some piss drips. As our lips collide and the stars burst, she whispers she's wet. It's time to quench my thirst. I go to the vagina with the utmost haste. My dick is rock hard and her vagina needs a taste. Slowly, carefully, I put my penis in her. Her ass was an appetizer. Now this is her dinner. She clinches the pillow that lays behind her head. Her vagina was hungry. I made sure it was fed. Back and forth, like waves crashing upon a shore, I'm thrusting my hips. She begins moaning some more. My dick connects us like a sign to a road. Time's flying by. I'm about to blow my load. I'm humping and thrusting at such a fast pace. Oh, here it comes. I pull out, blast my semen in her face. She took all my sperm, a quantity hard to fathom. To my surprise, she enjoyed it and continued to orgasm. She moaned and bounced up and down on the sheets. She reached her climax, and I had front row seats. Sex was incredible, and had reached its zenith. I look forward to it again. I'm in love with Gwyneth. That was by far the best poem I ever wrote, by the way. That's still timeless. 2014 poetry still holds up in the 2020 poetry climate, I'd say. And now I have Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina, candle, and orgasm, so it all comes full circle. Honestly, it's just a timeless classic. It's meant to be read as if it's a Christmas poem, which is why I read it in kind of holiday fashion right there. And I really just think no matter how deep into the future humanity will advance, this is a poem that we can all look back on and just appreciate for its unapologetically raw view of human sexuality and the primal nature of a sexual experience enjoyed by both parties. It's a poem that doesn't pull any punches. It comes at you raw and no rubber. It's telling it like it is. It talks about eating ass, eating a little bit of shit, unfortunately, getting hit with a few farts, but you know, at the end of the day, isn't that what it's all about? And I think that's what made Zenith such a standout in the poetry community. People were able to appreciate it in all of its glory without any sort of bias or any sort of judgment on the poem as a whole, and it was able to tell a standard tale in the poetry community, the sexual experience, in a way that no other poem has been able to. Every other poem has been afraid to. It wasn't afraid to just come out there and tell it like it is, and just shine in all of its glory. And I think that's why Zenith is a poem that is by far one of Genghis Swan's best, and perhaps, maybe a bit bold to claim, but perhaps one of the best poems to ever exist. And I just thought it was worth bringing up again since it seems a lot of people just totally fucking forgot all about the Genghis Swan experiment, so I thought it'd be fun to talk about again. That's about it. See ya.